I can't really speak for Ace Bailey because we don't know if he's gonna, report to Utah because it doesn't seem like he's interested in being in Utah. But Utah spent the number 5 draft pick on Ace Bailey. I don't know. I almost said Champ Bailey, but it's not hard to mix them up. But Ace Bailey, this kid has a lot of promise, but he don't want to report to Utah. I mean, you can have your own thing over there in Utah. You got your own thing. I can't do that. I can't do what Heavy D and the boys did. I ain't gonna even try. But Ace Bailey, he could have went, and he could still go. And there's some hesitation on his part. Anyway, I don't know what he's gonna do, but let's get to why I'm really here to talk to y'all. I'm here to talk to y'all about the number 18 selection by the Utah Jazz. Now, I was supposed to do this on draft night, but hey, it's never a better time than the present. Speaking of presents, I think Utah got a great one in Walter Clayton Jr. I was watching this kid in Florida, watching him rip and run through the tournament. I think it translates. He's a national champion. I mean, Florida played so well. Clayton Jr. made his guys look so great. And some of them have some athleticism, and they also have hunger to them. We're talking about Will Richard, who was also drafted. And what's his name? What's the other guy that got drafted? I want to say Elijah Martin. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna put the right name in the picture up here. But look, I think it's Elijah Martin. But yeah, let's get down to it. Walter Clayton Jr., man, just a great selection. And yes, Utah did great as well to select. In the second round, late, they got John Tonji out of Wisconsin. That kid, he can just put up points. Yes, he's 24. Yes, he's his upside isn't really gonna be prevalent, but you're talking about somebody that can potentially come in and contribute right away. Tonji should do good. You got Utah that's got Isaiah Collier. They still at the moment have Colin Sexton. They still at the moment got Jordan Clarkson. But when you look at this Utah team, there's a potential for for these rookies to come in and contribute. And I think Walter Clayton Jr., he's not going to come in immediately and start, but I think by 2026, Walter Clayton Jr. could have the reins. I mean, this kid, he can absolutely ball. And I'm not here to tell y'all that halfway through the season, if trades are made, that he somehow, some way won't find his way into the lineup. Now, the great things about Walter Clayton Jr., let's start there. Clutch shot maker. Can get on the roll, can run off a lot of points. He can create, he can pass, he can penetrate, he can dribble, he can dance with the ball, he can score, he makes his free throws. These are all good things. He's physical. Now, potentially a knock on Walter Clayton Jr., 6'2". His wingspan is only 6'4". But I think he's crafty and shifty with the ball, and he's going to need to, especially if he's driving in for layups. But if this kid can get off shots, he's gonna knock down his fair share. And I feel some kind of way because I know the Minnesota Timberwolves, they definitely should have took a long look and they should have drafted Walter Clayton Jr. because he would have been a perfect piece to slot next to Anthony Edwards. But I've long ago learned that my Timberwolves don't never do what seems right. They just don't never do what seems right. Yeah. Also, just to say, I'm just hyped now. I'm hyped because I'm going to follow the Jazz. I ain't say I was going to be a fan, but I'm going to follow them. I'm obviously a Timberwolves fan. But because they got Walter Clayton Jr., hey, I'm trying to watch as much of them as I possibly can. And I'm just super excited to see what this kid can do. I'm glad he didn't fall. I wanted to see him get picked higher. And it just so happened that 18 is a good, nice, sweet spot for him to get picked. He doesn't get the lottery. Although me personally, I would have took him in the top 15. For me, he would have been a lottery selection. But obviously everybody else is on what they own. And I thought that Danny Ainge, Utah GM, made a great selection. That's the bottom line. And Walter Clayton Jr., you get a proven winner, a national champion. You get to put him with a young Utah team that's got some veterans like a John Collins, Laurie Markkinen. But if you look at the youth on Utah, you look at the Keontae George, Ace Bailey, if he get his act together and report. If you look at, obviously, as Isaiah Collier, they took the big man last year. We'll put his name on the screen because I can't draw on a blank here. But if he can come back and be healthy, he's going to be somebody that could potentially break into the rotation. So, I don't know, y'all. we don't know what kind of season Utah gonna have. They could have a nice season this season, and I believe they're still coached by Will Hardy. But they can have a really good season this season with some young. I know that sounds crazy, but they got some young players that shouldn't be afraid to win. And really, what it all depends upon is, will Utah keep their proven talent or will they shop it? You know, because I don't see why they shouldn't be able to move up. I think when you got a winner like Walter Clayton Jr., if he is able to get into the rotation, that alone is going to be fantastic. He's the reason why I'm watching Summer League. I'm gonna do a video on this, but I'm gonna share with y'all two names. I'm watching Summer League because of Walter Clayton Jr. and Cooper Flag. There's tons of picks, but those are my main two. But we're gonna do a video on that. But look, hey y'all. Again, it depends on if Utah's gonna have a better season this campaign. What are they gonna do with it? Are they gonna keep the proven talent like John Collins, like a Lauren Markkinen, like a Colin Sexton? Are you gonna keep them or are you gonna move off of them? You know, because you're gonna move off of them, the young guys are gonna play and they're not gonna be too good. You know, are you gonna keep Walker Kessler, Walker and Walter on the same team? Somebody's gonna have to get called by their last name or nickname. Oh, speaking of nicknames, guess what they call in Utah? It's a play on Walter Clayton Jr.'s name, Walt Lake City. Hey, if he takes over, if at any point early in his career he turns out to be as great as he was with the University of Florida, oh, that nickname is going to be definitely standing. That nickname is definitely going to stand. So, look, I'm happy for Walter Clayton Jr. I'm elated for the kid. Utah is a place where a lot of players go, and they just don't have their best time. You know, when I look at Utah, obviously the best thing about Utah is Karl Malone and John Stockton. You know, and then also Jeff Hornacek, right? But look, here's another great thing about Utah. You know, they produced Donovan Mitchell and Darren Williams. But the thing is, can you come to Utah and win? Can you win like Stockton Malone? That's the thing. Can you? Because they went to Utah and did something incredibly different. They didn't never win a championship, but getting to 2 straight finals, that's big time. You know, only person stood in their way was Jordan and Pip. Well, Jordan and Pippen. Those are 2 people that basically stood in their way. Shout out to the Bulls. Shout out to the Jazz. That's when the finals was actually really, really the finals. Physical, tough, bodies on the line, everything. But yeah, taking it back to the present day, man, I'm just happy Walter Clayton Jr. got drafted in the first round. He went high to me, 18. It's still high, in my opinion, for a smaller guard. Some might say he might be undermanned. But he gonna come in, he gonna work hard. He gonna be eager to learn. And one thing you can't say is he's gonna lack for confidence. This kid is gonna come in, he gonna want to learn. And I just hope he participates in the summer league, and I don't see no reason why he wouldn't. So that's the Walter Clayton Utah Jazz video. Very unexpected, but I'm a huge Walter Clayton Jr. fan. I am. He showed me a lot. And he had just as much to do with his team winning the national title as much as anything. Yes, he had some riders in the rough with him. He did. But he had a lot to do with them bagging up that national championship title. And I think his game is Stephen Curry-esque. And I think it translates. He's not Stephen Curry, but it's Stephen Curry-esque. You know, because he can shoot the 3, the long ball. He can drop buckets, get buckets, dazzle with the rock, can score. And the best thing about him is if you need a bucket late, he can create or he can bury a shot. Tell me he can. Like, comment down below, subscribe. We out.